So we've done some trimming and some fader handles that have cleaned up the dialogue, but there's still an issue left. And the issue is this gap, and really this gap, around the clips of dialogue. You never want there to be no soundtrack because it's audible and it will sound like you switched off the soundtrack.
For till about the time he was 8, he was absolutely obsessed with presidents. And I took.
You hear that? So this is where presence track comes in. Now, if you recorded a piece of presence track, this is where you would put it. You would lay it in right here to fill this gap, okay, just the sound of the room, and it would smooth it out. But let's say you didn't record presence track. You can actually make a presence track. It's not ideal, but it is possible. This is how you would do it. You have to find a quiet place when your subject is not speaking. I would advise you to look at the heads and tails of takes. We look at the flat parts, okay? We look at the flat parts of the waveform, and we're hunting for a nice, quiet piece of soundtrack.
Out.
Well, that's not good because he's taking a breath there. What about this other flat part here?
Absolutely.
Not bad. The problem with it is it's too short, but we're just going to go with it.
He was.
So we're going to go to the first quiet frame. And actually what I should probably have done first is copy this. Now you can do a Command C and a Command V to basically copy and paste it, or you can hold down the Option key and drag a copy and put it anywhere you want. And you can line it up as long as your snapping is on over here. Okay, snapping. As long as that's on, it'll snap and line up perfectly under the clip above. All right, so I haven't moved the playhead. I know this is the first good quiet frame. So I'm going to go ahead and left edge this, Option bracket, and I'm going to continue to listen to it. Okay, and I'm going to go to the last quiet frame. Okay, and with this clip highlighted, I'm going to right edge it. And now I have this very short, it's only 17 frames, okay, piece of presence. But we're going to use it because that's just what we have access to at the moment. You need to find the perfectly quiet piece, and ideally it would be 2, 3, even 4 seconds if possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this clip and I'm going to move it to the end, and where I have nothing left in the primary storyline, I'm going to throw it into the primary storyline. And I'm going to trim the edges in by about 2 frames each. Okay, -2, and then I'm going to go to the head and +2. The reason I'm doing that, you'll see in a moment. I'm going to highlight the clip. I'm going to go to copy, which is Command C. Then I'm going to move to the end, and I'm going to paste it, or Command V. So zoom out a little bit. All right, I'm going to actually now highlight the juncture between the 2 clips. We're going to go Edit and Add Cross Dissolve as Command T. Puts this giant cross dissolve, which almost covers the whole thing. We're going to highlight it, right-click it, and change the duration. I'm going to make it very short by typing. You see now it's ready for duration. 3 frames. And return. So now I have a 3-frame cross dissolve between these 2 pieces. I'm going to listen to it. Not ideal, but assuming that you have a perfect piece, we're now going to highlight this. Actually, if you really want to be smart about it, you can take this part off and just highlight the clip plus the tail dissolve. Do a Command C to copy it, and then place the playhead at the end. Do a Command V to paste. Playhead to the end, paste, playhead to the end. I could even do it faster, really. And you can build a nice long piece of presence track doing this. I'll take out the final dissolve, and then ideally you would go to the first frame of your presence track and the last frame of your presence track, set an in and an out, an I and an O, and go ahead and share it out as a master file. But in this case, you're going to click on settings, you're going to say audio only. Make sure that's set to audio only, and either WAV or AIFF. These are lossless choices, okay? They're not compressed like an MP3. Click on next. I'm just going to put it on the desktop, and I'm going to call it Gus. That's the name of my character. Presence. Great. So I'm gonna share it out. It shouldn't take very long, and then I bet you can guess the next step. I might as well get rid of this now. I really don't need it anymore. Okay. I'm gonna go back to where I was, and I'm gonna import Command I. I'm gonna import what I just shared out on the desktop. There it is on the top. Make sure copy to library, create optimized, and now I should be able to find it in my library. Okay, so I'm going to go to where I need to patch the hole. It's best when you put in a piece of presence, actually, if you set an in and an out in the middle of the clip and then bring that down. And why? Because I want to have some space to be able to like trim out the front of this and go a little beyond. Bring this down. Okay, I don't want it to just be end to end because that's not smooth. Okay, so I'm going to overlap. And in that overlap space, you can probably guess, we're going to use our fader handles to get in and out smoothly. Now that's going to make sure that it's imperceptible.
Presidents. And I took him to...
Okay, so again, that cycling click is not there in your imaginations. You picture it, and it would be very smooth. Okay, that's the technique for building a piece of presence track and then sharing it out, re-importing it, and placing it where you need to fill in a gap, and using the fader handles, basically overlapping by trimming it out at the head and the tail, and then using the fader handles to get in and out of that clip smoothly.